Well, welcome to the channel, guys. Out for a bit of a ride here along the Fernley track at Newcastle. About to catch up with a family member just up ahead.
Did you see my little fall over? Turned around and then I saw you like, okay, I turned back around and then tried to do a circle on this thing. Went by.
This video is not about Newcastle as such, but more to do with our travels during 2019 when we left Sydney in about January, headed up to the Cape and then ultimately down to Tasmania. Some people coming up, we'll just get past them. In particular, I thought we'd go back and have a look at Paronella Park, which is one of the popular tourist spots up there in Queensland. It's a rather unique place. We spent one night there in their caravan park and caught up with a lovely French couple, Gabriel and a friend. But before we leave Newcastle, let me tell you a little bit about the area. We're actually on the Fernley track at the moment, which runs from Adamstown to Belmont, a distance of about 15 kilometres. It used to actually be an old coal railway track, but it's now been converted into a tourist track, very popular with cyclists, runners, walkers, as you'll probably see in a few moments. So we're actually locked down in the coronavirus at Stockton, which actually is a beautiful caravan park to spend the lockdown period. The ships are going in and out every few hours, taking coal off to China. A very popular place at the moment. If you haven't been to Newcastle though, oh, Great Northern Walk. I don't know what that's all about. If you haven't been to Newcastle though, it's a bit of a surprise packet. Originally a steelworks town, it's now a coal port, a major hub. Probably the biggest city on the coast above Sydney before you get to Brisbane. And it's characterised by beautiful beaches, national parks, a great coastline, Hunter River, cafes, a really nice area.
My name's Mark, and my wife Judy and I are the people that found this little spot in North Queensland 25 years ago. And in our wildest dreams, we didn't expect to find Paronella Park at all, let alone with a big sign on the front that said for sale. So in 1993, we bought Paronella Park and have been involved in a most amazing project. And I say a project that probably has its ups and downs, but most of all it's been wonderfully challenging but special. And now we have 64 staff working here, and I think we have to say thank you to Jose Paronella and his wife Margarita, but also to Teresa, the daughter of Jose and Margarita, who turned up here. And you can imagine none of this infrastructure here was in place, but we met her 4 weeks after we arrived, and she didn't ring and say she was coming. She basically turned up on our doorstep and she took Judy and I on a walk through the park and took us back into the history of Paronella Park by saying, I grew up here and this is the story of my dad building Paronella Park. And it was the most wonderful thing. She was able to bring the physical park to life. So all of a sudden we had a waterfall. Yes, beautiful waterfall, but that was the inspiration for her dad to buy this property. We had a building, and that building was to serve the tea and the ice cream. And she said ice cream was particularly wonderful because they had electricity. So all these little pieces. And as we walked down Cowrie Avenue, she turned around and she said, wow, I helped plant these trees. The last time she had seen those trees was when they were 18 years old, and she came back when they were 60 years old, and you've seen them today when they're 85 years old. So it's a really lovely thing for people to come back. There were kids today 5 years old, and they'll come back in hopefully 70 years time and see those trees when they're 150 years old. And that's the great thing about something like the trees. We're trying to preserve the park. We want it to last as long as we can. It's not very easy. When we get a cyclone with winds of 250 km/h, it's challenging because the rainfall is going sideways and so on. But I must say that some of our best decisions were taken because of Cyclone Larry in 2006. We decided to give everyone a 2-year pass. Why wouldn't you? There were no leaves on the trees. And of course, that was so successful, we still do it today. We also decided to give people one night in the camping and caravan park. It's more than a caravan park, you know that. It's showers, it's Wi-Fi, but it's also the ability to stay and enjoy what you've experienced tonight. And I can tell you that what we found was that increased our visitation hugely.
He enjoyed it more, in fact, by living next to it instead, because he got to see it. His childhood dream was to build a castle, and if you stand on his front patio, it lines up with the best view to view that from. I think that was no surprise, that was the intention. The first thing he saw each and every day, he stepped outside, he looked up, and he saw his dream, what he built himself. Exactly. But that way, I reckon he got to enjoy it more, in fact, by living next to it instead.
My name is Gabriel. We live in France, and we arrived in December to make a road trip of the Australia. Normally we would like to work in Australia, but we don't like the work because we work hard in France, and we prefer to do a little road trip of the Australia. No, we don't like Sydney. It's too busy, lot of people. We prefer Melbourne. It's, I don't know how I can tell. It's not too much people and not too much car. We think the city is beautiful than Sydney. Yeah, we prefer Melbourne than Sydney. We think France is better. It's not better, but it's not exact. It's not the same. it's the first trip. Maybe in the next year at New Zealand for 6 months too. So it's not too long. So we think all is expensive here, but the people is really nice. When we see the people, hello, how are you? But in French, it's if you say hello, it's good. Yes, you are really. So the people are really cool. Yeah, for the person are cool here.